Hey people, I'm going to finish up this chapter at 1 Timothy 5. I want to start with an explanation of this word here, Christo. And it became to mean the sacrifice, the Christo. And it comes from a silkworm. You know, in order to make silk, they have to unwrap this cocoon of a silkworm. The moth lays these eggs, and these eggs hatch and they become silkworms, and they eat a ton of leaves, and then they make this cocoon. They roll themselves up in it. And they sit there and metamorphose. They turn into a butterfly, and then they cut their way out. So they started farming them in China 6,000 years ago. And there's a mile of silk in this little cocoon. But there's a death that has to go with it. It has to have a sacrifice. They collect these cocoons and they put them in a pot of hot water, and it kills the worm. You can't do it, after the worm comes out. He's going to cut a hole in, and you're not going to be able to peel a mile off. Well, it's in this warm water. They'll fish around with this brush, and they'll find the end of that strand, and they'll tie the end of that strand up and start reeling on it. And they'll unwrap a mile of silk off of this. But there has to be the sacrifice. You have to sacrifice the worm. The worm is going to die when he hits that water. You got to get it before it turns into a butterfly. So this worm is known as a chrysalis, an insect pupa, a butterfly or moth. And so you could read this Christo is the sacrifice to, or the life in the middle that has to be sacrificed in order to get the silk. So if you just ignore everything down here and just listen to the words, you know what most of this means. The die martyr whom may, die through. The martyr, the one who's going to give himself up. O-M, whom may. In a peon, in a nobody, to, with, the, of, to Christ, to the Christo, which is of. This U reads with this as a W, with this IHS, which is O-V, of. To the Christ, to which is of. What on? This reads as a W. It's a key. It's a vav. It's a W here. What on? And this EK replaces the L. You just read it as of. What on? Lecton. Haggle on. The group of harpists. In a thought to. Philex. And so Philex means, Philex is a name, means to conjures altruism. Altruism is a belief or a practice of disinterested or selflessness concerns for the well-being of others. The Philex conjures altruism. In a thought to Philex, into practice selflessness concern for the well-being of others. And so this just reads this Philex, and then it stops at this iota script down here, and it reads backwards. The hex, the six, all of. Hex, all of. And then it comes back and reads this SHS, says. The hex, all of, says. Chore is. What you got to do. The chore is pro. For crime it twos. Made imposing. Imposing. Made impose on. According to. For scallies in. Scally's a scallywag. A scally, a rascal, or a miscreant. A jobless yob who has little or no education is expected of having committed some type of crime. The chore is for the crime it is made imposing according to for scallies in. Share has taxed those. Much deny the pity they made coin on they. A marked yaz all latrius. And so this is this J-A-I. That's like the Hindu word J-A-I, meaning the victory. a mart, a store, victor, alatrius, altruism, and made coin on they a mart. And so it's getting paid to make coin on a mart to victors alatrius. So you see how they got this twisted around. It's alatrius is for others, not of others. That one word turns the meaning in reverse. To see what on, aging on 3. To see what on, aging on 3. Make it hydropody, alla, wino, neo, holy gogillo, crow. To make it the hydro, you see the German water in there, water, WDR, but just the hydropoti, potent, make the hydropotence. That's not water. That hydraulics doesn't use water, it uses oil. It just means liquid. The liquid potent, Allah, God, wino, neo, the O-I-N is usually wine. This reads backwards, O-N-I-O. The wine and neo, and then holy. That's where your word holy come from. The same place as oligarch. They say it means a few. A holigo, oligos, a few, and it means the few on top. The oligarch, the one on top. The wino neo, holy go gillo, and so a holy gogillo is a gogillo is a moderately hot variety of chili pepper. The holy gogillo crow, and Old Crow, that's a whiskey. And so the crime is to make it the hydropotent, hydropody alla, wino neo, holy gogillo, really hot crow. They were making some liquors with this saying. And you can still buy some of this though, hydropody alla, wino neo, holy gogillo crow. You can still buy it today here, and it's a spirit that they mix up, and it's called the Holy Trinity of Chilies, and they put these 3 peppers in there, and one of them is this gogillo, and that's what they mean here by a little use. You just want to use a little bit of it, no longer drink only water but wine, a little use. No, to make it the hydropody alla, wine and neo, holy gogillo crow, diet on. This is why you just want to use little, because diet on stomach on what as fucking asshole astanias. So this word tenon, it only comes up 2 places in the world, and you'll find it in these books of identification of vat dyes, and you got a whole list of dyes. They're called tenons, and you'll find it in a couple Urdu phrases, and they say it means 3, but not just 3, but 3 together, 3 things that fit together. Tenon is the rule of 3, the 3, all 3 periods of human life, 3 worlds, 3 kinds of trouble, the 3 persons of the Hindu triad, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So the 3 on, thereupon, I, and that's a acknowledgement. If you're on the boat and somebody hollers your name, you holler I. It means acknowledgement. Amarte I. And so this is all coming out of that, all these words are coming out of that Urdu dictionary. I can't find these words anywhere else. But amarte is a physical substance. It's like if you were worshiping an idol, that would be amarte pojan. And this is for dollar, to manifest. Pro for dollar, dollar. The 3 on thereupon Acknowledge, amarte for dollar. This in, for, piaro, forage. Forage who say this christen. 'Tis in thee, we, the key is W-E, we, pickle who thou's in. The pickle who thou's in, when you're really drunk, you're in a pickle. You can see this last line, it has that for dollar. A little bit different now. This is for dollar, D-H-L-A, dollar. Da is day one in the Hebrew Bible, da. And it also means the way in the Hindu and Urdu. But you see it's spelled just a little bit different. Here it's pro-dala. Here's pro-daleh, pro-dalao, L-O-I. It's just the A here. And O-I is how. And so for how you make your dollar, to manifest. And here they change it to evident. And so this is as, A-S, they'll say it's as all the way through the Bible. It's the only word they get right. And so this is as ought to's, what you ought to do. As ought to's, and then this is the what to. As ought to's, what to urge to. Is what you ought to do, what to urge to. Urge you to do. Kala fadala. And so kala means time. It's not good. It comes from this ancient god Kala. They say it means time. It's not always distinguishable from Kala, which means black. And so that has to do with the other words around it. When you're in the black, that means you're in the good. The Kala in Dar, Dar means to give. So the Kala in Dar is the time and give. That's what a calendar does. It gives you the time and give. Calendar. And so that's where they're getting that good at, is from when it means black. When you're in the black, you're in the good. When you're in the red, you at the end of the month, you're looking at your checkbook. If you're in the black, you're in the good. If you're in the red, you don't have enough money to cover your bills. As ought to's, what to urge you to. Kala fadala, the time for dollar, what to all as each unto. Krubane, who dine unto. And so krubane, to be concealed, is something they want to keep a secret. It means they don't want you to know what krubane means. But it means order. Bene, order. As ought to's, what to urge you to. Time for dollar, what to all as each unto. The crew bene, the crew of order, who dina, who power into. Who dina into, power unto. So if you missed this last one I posted, make sure you watch it. It explains all those what to's and ought to's better. 17 minutes. And it's probably the best one to begin all of these moves. This is probably my best one for beginning. I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.